Welcome back to AK App Logics. In the previous class, we have discussed about the Python output variables. How do we output variables? Okay, and in the previous above class, what we have discussed is Python variables. How we gonna assign multiple values to the multiple variables and all those stuff. If you haven't watched those videos, please refer those videos before watching this particular video. So in this, now we are going to learn about Python global variables. Python global variables. How we are going to declare global variables in Python, and what is the difference between the global variables and the local variables. Global variables. Okay, the variables that are created outside of a function. As in all of the examples in the previous conversation are known as global variables. Okay, so in the previous examples we have taken some of the variables like x equal to 5, y equal to John, right? These are the variables which we have discussed, which have uh, assigned the values to them outside the function, right? We haven't used any function, right? So all these particular variables by default will be treated as a global variables. Okay, yeah, created outside a function. Okay, global variables means the thing which we have already came through in the previous sessions. Okay, yeah, next, global variables can be used by everyone both inside of functions and outside of the function. Okay, global variables. Okay, once you have declared the global variable and assign the value to it, we can call, or you can print that particular value at any point of time, at any place in the code. Okay, yeah, example, create a variable outside of a function and use it inside the function. Okay, I'm going to create a variable outside a function whose variable name is x, and the value that I have assigned to it is a string that is awesome, which is placed in the double quotation marks. Okay, this is the syntax for the declaring the string variable. So this particular variable is placed outside the function. Okay, so now what I am going to do is I am going to define a function which we haven't discussed at till now. So just remember. Okay, yeah, def is a keyword. Okay, my function. Okay, my func is a function name. Okay, like we have a variable names, right? So it's a function name. And how do you identify it as a function means, after the name of the function you will be placed the parenthesis. Okay, opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis, and then we have used the colon, right? Colon. So next, in this particular function which is my func, I have used a print statement and printed the Python is. Okay, Python is, and I have used the plus. Okay, which is used to combine this particular string which is Python is and the value which is available, or the value which is assigned to the x, which is awesome. Okay, so then the function. Okay, you can able to see that how we can able to say that this particular print statement is in the function or not. So here you can able to see an indentation which is nothing but the space, right? In the above statement there is no any indentation, right? In the below statement also there is no any indentation. Yeah, okay, the space, there is space, right? So if we haven't given space, then this particular printf is not belongs to the function. Okay, and how we gonna start the function means, after colon the function will be automatically started. Okay, so let me execute this particular code. Let me comment the above part and save the program before running the code. There is something. Yeah, sorry. I need to save the above line. Okay, just a second. So I'm going to paste it over here. Now let me save this code and run the code for you guys. Run Python. So you can see the output as Python is awesome, right? So it means we have declared a variable outside the function and we have called this particular variable x with to the print statement which is written inside the function my function. It means from this we can able to say that if you are going to declare the variable outside the function or outside the function, then this will be called as global variable, and that particular variable can be used outside the function and also inside the function as well. It means it can able to use at any point of time at any part of the uh, editor, right? Next, let us see. If you create a variable with same name inside a function, this variable will be local and can only be used inside the function. If you create a variable with the same name inside a function, okay, if we are going to create the same name, it means if we are going to use this particular x, okay, as a variable name, and if we create a variable inside the function, this variable will be treated as a local and that particular variable can only use it inside the function. It can't able to use outside the function. So when I going to discuss the example, then you can able to understand. The global variable with the same name will remain as it is was and global and with the original value. It means when you are going to declare the variable with the same name, okay, for example x in the function that you have defined, so that particular variable will be local to that particular function only. Outside the function, the variable which is global or the variable which is declared outside the function, it will be treated as global only. Okay, coming to that function only, the variable which you have declared inside the function will be acts as a local variable. Okay, yeah. By discussing example you can able to understand. Example: create a variable inside a function with the same name as the global variable. Okay, I'm going to create a function and I'm going to uh, create a variable in that function, okay, whose variable name is same that of which I have used outside the yeah. Let us discuss example. Okay, in the same case, like the previous, I have taken the variable x and assigned a string named whose value is awesome. So next I have defined a function whose name is my function like in the previous case. So I'm going to use another variable. Yeah, yeah, with the same variable name x, I have defined another string which is fantastic. Okay, so in the function, my function, okay, next I'm going to print the statement inside the function, right? I'm going to print the statement inside the function. Okay, you can see the indentation over here. Okay, so let me, yeah, python is plus x. Okay, plus is used to combine both the uh, string and the string. Okay, and at the end, this is what it is called as the body of the function. Okay, it is the body of the function. Okay, I forgot to say in the above code. So okay, this is the body of the function, okay, where we are going to write the statement that we are required, okay, using the indentation, okay, after the colon, okay, we will write series of statement that we that has those are required by us. Okay, to execute this particular function, you need to call the function, okay, call the function using the function name and then followed by the parentheses. Okay, in the previous class also we have used it, right, my function. So this is the declaration of the function and the assignment of the statements in the function. Okay, to call this particular function we have to use the function name followed by the parenthesis. So in the same case we have done it. So next I am going to use another print statement and printed this x value. Okay, printed the x value outside the function. Okay, outside the function. Okay, so let you guys guess the answers for this particular x and then this particular x. So first which x will be printed and then um, next time which x value will be printed. Will both the times the awesome will printed, or the will both the times fantastic will be printed? Okay, so for the first x, what we are going to see is we are going to see Python is fantastic. Okay, why? Because after declaring the function we immediately call that function, right? We immediately call that particular function using the my function parenthesis using its name, right? So it will print the Python is fantastic. Okay, after calling that particular function we have written a print statement outside the function which is a Python is awesome, right? It will print Python is awesome by taking the x as a global variable, right? Why? Because outside the function the inside variable or the variable inside the function will be x accordingly inside the function. It is only valid inside the function, it is not invalid outside the function, right? So it won't print as fantastic. Okay, let me show you by running the code. Let us see. So before executing any code you must save that particular code. Okay, let me clear this. So you can see over here we got the Python is fantastic and Python is awesome. Okay, first we got the Python is fantastic and second we got the Python is awesome. So if you want Python is awesome at the beginning and Python is fantastic last, then you need to just shift the position of the statements. Okay, then you can see over here we got first Python is awesome and then later we got Python is fantastic. This is why, because we have written the outside the function. Okay, we have written the print statement first, after that only we have called the call the function. Okay, after writing the print statement outside we call the function. Okay, so that the print statement which is before the calling of the function will be executed and will be printed in the output, and later the function will be called and will be executed the statement inside the function. Okay, why? Because Python code will be executed line by line, okay, one after another. Okay, it doesn't mean that uh, after x equal to awesome it will enter into the this particular diff this particular function declaration and it should print the Python is fantastic. No, it won't do like that. So these three statements are not going to execute by the uh, Python in the sequential manner. Okay, whenever you are going to call that particular function, then only these statements will get an access to execute. Okay, it means what I'm going to trying to say is, so I have told you, right, the Python uh, statements will be executed in the sequential manner one after another in the Python code. Okay, we may get a doubt, right? After x equal to awesome, we have def my function and x equal to fantastic, and we have a print statement, right? So before printing this particular outside print statement, we need to see the output as Python is fantastic, right? Some people may get a doubt like this. So actually what I'm trying to say is, these particular three statements are the function declarations. Okay, okay, we have just declared the function. Okay, we have declared the function. So to get the access to the interpreter, Python interpreter, to this particular function, you must call this function. Okay, where did we call that particular function is this line. Okay, using the function name we have called that particular function. Okay, now the access will go inside the function, and then statements that those are written inside the function will be executed. Okay, that's the point. So let me use over here. Okay, then you will get an error. See, we get an error. Why? Because before, only without defining the function, I have calling the function. Okay, what I have told, Python code will be executed line by line, right? After assigning the awesome string to the x variable, the interpreter moves to the next line. It will call the my function, right? But before this particular statement my function, we haven't declared the function at all, right? So that we got an error as my function is not defined. Okay, all this point we will going to discuss while we going to discuss about the functions. So this is all about the global variables, right? We shouldn't discuss this much of thing in it. It will be a debating topic. Okay, I will discuss in the functions topic next. Yeah, global keyboard. Okay, normally when you create variable inside a function, that variable is local and can only be used in the function itself, right? We have seen it, right? So we have first example, what we have done is we have taken a variable and then we have used the variable inside the function. Okay, outside the function we have declared the variable and we have used the variable inside the function. So outside the function, if we use the variable, then it will be treated as a global variable by default. Okay, so that even though when we are going to call that particular variable inside the function, we are getting the output, okay, without showing any error. Next case, what we have done is we have taken two variables inside the function one and the outside the function one with the same name. Okay, so when we are going to use the two particular statements, print statements inside the function, and one is outside the function, inside the inside the function, okay, the variable, okay, the same variable, right? We have going to use the x as a same variable, right? So the variable inside the function will be valid inside the function itself. It is not valid outside the function, right? So outside the function, the variable which is of the same name, which is of the same name as the variable inside the function, will be acts as a universal variable, right? Or the global variable. Okay, right? So it will the print statement outside the function will use the global variable. Okay, whereas the print statement inside the function will use the local variable, that is x equal to fantastic, which is declared in the function itself. Okay, now if you want to create a variable inside a function and to make it as a global, okay, it means you need to access the variable inside the function, outside the function. What is the first case? If you want to access the variable inside the function or outside the function, you need to declare the variable name outside the function, right? Outside the function, then only you can able to access that particular variable inside the function and also outside the function. But you, the requirement is you need to declare the variable inside the function itself only, okay, and you need to use that particular variable inside the function and also outside the function. Then you are going to use this particular global keyword to make that particular variable which is declared inside the function as a global variable, okay. Yeah, to create global variable inside a function you need to use the global keyword, okay. That's the point I have discussed. Example, if you use the global keyword, the variable belongs to the global scope. It means we can able to use inside the function, outside the function at any point of the code, okay, part of the code. Def my function, okay, I have taken the code defining a function which is whose name is my function colon global x, okay. I have declared the variable global x and then x equal to fantastic. I have assigned the uh, string to it like we did in the previous class. So after declaring the function, this is the declaration part of the function. Now I am going to call this particular function, okay, my function, and after it I have used the print statement and used the and I'm going to print the x along with the python is, okay, along with the python is, okay. I haven't written any print statement inside the function itself, okay. I haven't written any statement inside the function, you can see. Yeah, okay, I haven't written any statement inside the function. I have written the statement print statement outside the function, okay. So let me execute this code, okay. What we expect if we don't know the importance of the global keyword, then we expect the output should be error. Why? Because we haven't declared any uh, x variable outside the function, okay. We have declared the x variable inside the function but we haven't declared the outside the function, okay. So we expect output as a error but we are going to get the output which is python is fantastic. This is why, because we have used the global keyword and make this particular x which is a local to this particular function, okay, which is previously by default local to uh, uh, its own function, okay. So we made it as a global variable using the global keyword, so that even though we are going to use the print statement outside the function and using the variable declaration inside the function, we are getting the output without any error, okay. Yeah, so what if I have removed this particular uh, calling of a function, then what happens? Let us see. We are going to get an error, right? This is why, because you may get a doubt, right? So sir, we have used the global keyword inside the function and we make this particular x as a global. Yeah, we did it. So this part is the declaration of the function, right? What I have told you, the declaration will execute only when the function is called, right? When the function is called, we have just declared the function, we haven't called the function yet, right? So we must use this particular statement my function, okay. With if you not using this particular my function, then the interpreter can't able to go to this particular function, okay. It doesn't know whether this function exists or not. So so that you must call the function, okay. You don't um, forget this point, okay. I will discuss mostly in the functions part also this thing. Yeah, next, Also use the global keyboard if you want to change a global variable inside a function. Okay. Also use the global keyword if you want to change a global variable inside a function. Okay, I think it's a wrong statement. Let me see the example. To change the value of global variable inside a function, refer to the variable by using the global keyword. Okay, let us see the example. Awesome, I have declared a variable and defining the function which is global x and x equal to fantastic. My function, I'm printing x. Okay, yeah. So see, I am going to explain these 2 points. Also use the global keyword if you want to change a global variable inside a function. Okay. Okay, what is this particular variable? By default it's a global variable, right? If you want to change its value inside a function, then what you need to do is, first you need to make it as a global, okay, inside the function, so that you need to use the global keyword, right? After, in the next statement, you need to use x equal to fantastic. Okay, by this, what we are going to say is, we have changed the global variable which is declared outside the function. Okay, we have the global variable which is declared in outside the function. We changed that global variable value inside the function using the global keyword. That's the meaning of this particular point. Use the global keyword if you want to change the global variable inside a function. Okay, to change the value of a global variable inside a function, refer to the variable by using the global keyword. Okay, both are same, right? Yeah. So let me execute this particular statement for you guys. So I'm going to have an hands-on experience. Okay, I myself learning a lot. Okay, you must have an hands-on experience, then only you can able to learn. Okay, yeah, we can see the output. Python is fantastic. Okay, what we expect is Python is awesome. Okay, but we have used the global, right? If I'm going to comment this particular global and rerun the program, then you can able to see the output as Python is awesome. Okay, okay, why? Because now the variable x in the function is a local variable to its function only, right? So whenever you are going to use the global keyword, it becomes global and it is universal, right? You can able to use it in the function and also outside the function. Yeah, let me rerun the code for you. So Python is fantastic. So you may get a doubt, right? Can't we use global keyword and assign the value in the same line? Okay, let us see. I also don't know. Let me check that. So it's an invalid syntax. Okay, it's an invalid syntax. You shouldn't use both declaration and assignment or the combined call as an initialization. I think so. Yeah, initialization. Okay, first you need to declare the variable as a global, and then only in the next statement you need to assign the value to the variable. You shouldn't declare the variable as a global, and also you shouldn't assign the value to it in the same line. Okay, it will give you an invalid syntax error. Okay, you need to note these errors as well. Okay, it will be useful for you guys. Okay, yeah, yeah, let me summarize the video so that you can able to remember good. Okay, yeah, global, we are going to have two types of variables, global and the local variables. Global variables can able to use it anywhere in the code, right? Local are to a particular region, that is function, right? So local to global conversion. Okay, convert local to global. What you need to do is use global keyword. Okay, don't do both at a time. Okay, that is example, global x, global variable. This is wrong, right? Global x, and then in the another line you need to use global x. In the one line you need to use global x, and the another line you need to assign the value to it. Okay, you shouldn't do both declaration and assignment at the same time. Okay, so let me show you another thing. Okay, I got an idea. So can you do like this? Can you do like this? So let me show you. So let me clear everything. Py, sorry, I need to comment, right? Let me comment first. Okay, so remove this comment. Okay, don't feel that time is getting running too much. Okay, we are learning new things, right? Yeah, so is it valid or invalid? Let's see. It's an invalid syntax, right? It's an invalid syntax. I know that it's an invalid syntax. So um, I already discussed in this tutorial itself. Okay, one thing. Okay, to make two statements to be written in the same line without having any syntax errors, then we need to use something in between the statements. Okay, in between the statements we need to use something that is semicolon. Okay, now it's valid. You can see the output. Okay, we are getting the output. So this pi is not an output. Okay, this pi is not an output. Okay, it's a file name. Okay, we got the output. Python is fantastic. Okay, yeah, if you want. Okay, if someone asks you, okay, can you declare a variable which is a global and assign the value to it in the same line itself, can you do that? Okay, if you do like this, then it will show you an error, right? So we can't able to do it. Why? Because it's a syntax error. Okay, invalid syntax. So then you, what you need to do is you simply put a semicolon in between the two statements. Okay, this is one statement and this is another statement. So now we have joined two statements, right, using the semicolon. Okay, we haven't joined, we have separated these two statements, okay, on the same line, right? So this point is also very important. Remember this point is as well. So let me come back. Okay, yeah, okay, variable name, this is valid. Okay, this is very valid. Okay, valid. And another way to do it is using the semicolon in between them. Okay, so I think I hope everything is clear. So you don't worry about the time. It's an half an hour video, that too on the global variable. But I you will learn a little bit. Okay, at least one point that you might know. You might know, which is can't figure out it by you. Okay, okay. when you are going to study a book, okay, a standard book, okay, then for your own perspective, okay, your own mind thinking, okay, to your level only the book will make you understand the things inside the book. When you are going to make a group discussions with your friends or watching the YouTube lectures like this, okay, then only you can able to figure out that point. Okay, I'm not saying that you are not aware of that point previously. You are aware of that point previously. Okay, you are already aware of that point previously, but you can't figure out it. Okay, it means uh, it will be in front of you only, but you can't able to recognize it. Okay, recognize that point. Those minute points will be clearly observed when you interact with others. Okay, when you make group discussions and debates with others. Okay, and also when you are going to attend this type of lectures. Okay, if you are going to have a enough amount of time, then only watch these tutorials. Okay, it's an completely interactive, and it's like a group discussion. Okay, right. You may think that we are not talking with you and you are not talking with me, but somehow we are starting from the nil, right? We are learning in a way that okay, now this we have written, so what we have need to write next. Okay, in this approach, okay, what next, what, why, and why we are going to use and what next. Like this, we are going to question, right? I am going to question you in this tutorial, right? So without any delay, you just have an hands-on experience. So that's it for the video. Thank you.